Hello, dear, beautiful beings of light, which we all are underneath the rubble, the fears, the doubts. There is a beautiful light shining, and I'm telling you, it wants to shine brighter. How do I know that? Because when I listen to my light, when I listen to this core essence inside my heart, my chest area, there is like a yearning, almost a burning for something just to come out through the rubble so it can shine its light in the world. And can we all agree that we need more light because there's a lot of darkness happening out there? And it has been dimming for a while, and there's a lot going on. So each one of us, we need to shine our light. And I really mean this. It's true. It's very important as far as anything is important in the matrix, in an illusion. Of course, because at the core of the illusion, there's nothing important other than just leave it behind because it's nothing. But while we're still in it and while we're still believing it's true, there's something in us that needs to break through our own identity and attachment to the matrix so that the light can come out more and more. In a couple of weeks, I will be offering a free webinar called Awakening the Fearless Light Worker Within. And I invite you to join. All you need to do is join my email list. It's in the comments below, or actually in the description below. And then you will stay attuned with what I'm offering. And I really believe, at least in my own experience, that this is going to be very powerful to help us awaken and ignite that truth of who we are and start shining it in the world. It does not mean that we have to become these huge, famous speakers who are attracting thousands of people. I'm certainly not one of them. I just have a small tribe around me. And I think years ago there might have been something to some people just became mega big, and they just attracted the crowds because there was something, there was a layer that needed to be met, and it could be met in the crowds with big numbers. And as we're going deeper and deeper, and again, this is my own experience, belief, whatever, is that more of us are now coming out and we can attract our own little tribe around us so we can go much deeper. So it's not just the superficial or the surface things that need to be seen through. We are just deepening and deepening. And what I offer is to really come down all the way into the core of your being, your I am presence. And making that our new home, our abiding place. The more we sit there, sitting in meditation or sitting in anything we do, we just rest in our inner throne of I am. That is, in one way, it's all it takes. Because when we sit in our throne of I am, that means when we rest back and know who we are and feel it, there is some kind of an energetic shift. And it's like we realize that we are actually the portal. We don't need to open it. It's already open, but we need to just go there and open up to it, right? The part of us that's not hasn't realized it yet needs to just be willing to just open up to it. So it's kind of a beautiful way to surrender to who we already are. And then we don't know what's going to happen. Seriously. We may have ideas, we may have good intentions, lots of inspiration, and we go with that, but we don't do it with an attachment and a driven energy, I've got to get there. Because as soon as we go into that energy, we leave the portal, we leave the entryway for the divine to come through. We need to be that. We need to be that portal consciously. We don't need to go out there and try and, pry open doors and convince people and things like that. No, it's learning to just be here and trust and surrender and allow and stay open and soft to it. And not go too much into that little mind, which in itself is a lot of work, as I'm sure you know, because the mind loves to take over and loves to take credit and all that stuff. Like if good things happen when we are here, the mind is probably the first one to want to own it, right? But then we have left it again. Because when you are here, you know that you are certainly not doing anything to make things happen. You're just making yourself available for the divine to do, I was going to say to do its magic, but that's not true either. It's just to be what it already is and help us see through the illusion and the fog and the simulation, the hypnotic suggestion, and then they do start dissolving. They start melting and softening, and then more can come through. So that is the invitation. I also know from my own experience, of course, that to stay on track is not so easy. That deep felt sense in our heart, in our chest, what I call longing. Maybe that's the doorbell from the inside of your heart. That's where the divine rings the doorbell, and it's like you feel it as a longing. You don't necessarily hear it as a ringing, but you sense something that you long for. You're not longing for a new car, a new relationship, being successful. That's much further out. You're not at the door. You're still out there thinking you need something out there to be fulfilled and happy and at peace. There's nothing wrong with having and being and doing all that. But if we're not connected in here, we're still not going to be fulfilled, because there is no fulfillment in an illusion. Shall I say that again? There is no fulfillment in an illusion. Maybe for a little snippet, for a little time, very possible. But eventually that's going to run dry too. It's either going to go away or the person's going to pass on. It's going to crumble, whatever it is. And then you're left again like, now what? If you're not here as the open door, you are not going to find fulfillment. It does not exist in an illusion. You and I are fulfillment itself. So by listening to the longing and realizing that is you, it's you ringing that doorbell, asking you to open up to yourself. There is no God out there. There is no guru out there. It is all you, your expression and experience of I am. That is the solution to everything. But it takes time to come back here enough so that we actually start trusting it. So what I'll talk about also in this webinar I mentioned, and I have talked a ton about it already on my YouTubes here, but it is starting to see what is it that keeps moving us away from this knocking inside, from this thing we deeply long for. And when we see what it is that lures us away time and time again, then we start being able to do something about it. We can choose, oh no, I don't want that anymore. This is the only thing that I deeply long for. And I need to make that my home. I need to sit as that open portal. And when I sit in that portal, when I really embrace the longing, that felt sense of longing, I'm coming back here to the expression of the divine. That's why we don't need to do anything with the longing other than just turning back towards it. And this is also your, we can call it the Dharma bell. You may have heard that. It's like the ding that tells you come back, right? So the doorbell is your Dharma bell. And by coming back to that felt sense of longing, what it is you're longing for, it's not out there. Be with the longing, the felt sense of the longing itself. I know it sounds so simple, doesn't it? And truth is simple. It's just the mind that wants to complicate it all. So when we learn to make this our abiding place, and notice when we veer off one way or the other, and we catch ourselves like, oops, where did I go? I want to come back home. And like, what is it that I want again? Whoop, you're right back in your heart, because the longing is always there. Your I am presence is always there. And it's not trying to, pull you back. It's just there. And eventually we start longing for it when we get tired of all the worldly stuff that only satisfied us to a certain extent. So then we come home, and then we stay home. And then it is the practice is to stay in the feeling, in the felt sense of that longing itself. So let me say it again. The longing itself is it. You don't need to think about if you want something, or what this thing is longing for. Stay with the longing itself. There might be things you long for. That's perfectly fine. Go and achieve it. Go and create it. Absolutely. But please stay connected to the I am, the sensation. I mean, I call it longing. It's just really a perfume, a sensation of I am. It's a feeling. It's something. It's real, not to the five senses, but to the soul sense. So there is something inside all of us that is now coming more online. It's becoming more available to us, or more obvious maybe, where we start sensing it, but we don't know what it is yet. We don't know what to do with it. So we just keep doing what we're used to. But this is not going away. It's like now it starts, the doorbell, the Dharma bell starts ringing, and you feel like, oh no, I don't really want that. I want to just stay home and be quiet and just spend time with this. So it comes as a natural arising to come back to it. I have a lot of videos on the longing, and if this speaks to you, I want to invite you to go back and look for some of those. I'll put some of the links up here also. So that is my invitation for the new year, that we really make this our priority and make ourselves available for the divinity that we are. We're not giving up our life for something outside of ourselves, because it doesn't feel right? Then there's like, well, can I trust God? What does it mean? No, it is your own self with a big capital, big S. It's your own self. That's what you're surrendering to, instead of surrendering to that separate sense of self, which is not really who you are. It's just kind of, that's the illusion. That's the simulation that we keep surrendering to, and then we abandon who we truly are. Yeah, so please, if this resonates, I very highly invite you to sign up for my email list. And this coming Tuesday, which is January 7th, I have my next monthly online gathering, which I also invite you to join, because that's where we start feeling into this. And the link will be also in the description. And then the week after, I think I'll offer this free webinar. And then if that resonates with you, I have some more offerings. If you really want to join me in going deeper in this and make this your priority, make this very real in your life, you can. Trust me, I know. I'm doing it, I'm living it. There's nothing else really that matters than this. And that doesn't mean that my life is boring. Maybe to others, not to me. So you have to feel that deep longing for, really having an intimate relationship and connection with the divine, with your own divinity. That's what we're going for here. So this is not for everyone. Not everybody wants this, but more and more people do. So I hope that speaks to you. Please join me on Tuesday and also on the webinar. If you want to know more about the webinar, I would definitely get on my email list. And please like, subscribe, comment, click that little bell button so that you get notifications when I have new videos here coming out. All right, my friends, until we meet again.